Joining me today is ultra multi-talented Douglas Vermeeren. He is a Canadian accomplished actor, filmmaker, entrepreneur, producer, stuntman, director. He's a world traveler, and just so excited to have him on the show. Welcome, Douglas.
Well, thank you for having me. It's good to be with you today.
Yeah, did I forget anything? I mean, you have an impressive resume, and I just want to congratulate you on your role, which was, you probably have other projects now. Piers Rothschild, it was a horror feature film in Big Cats.
Yeah, that was fun. We finished that actually not so long ago, and I'm heading back to London, I guess, July. What's that, next month, like a day from now? To do another film on Jack the Ripper with the same producers, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so tell us about what was it like, doing Big Cats.
Yeah, Big Cats was fun. That's actually my second movie with Chris Sanders. So the Jack the Ripper one will be my third. But Big Cats was really quite cool. We had a lot of friends that I've worked with before there, so we get a chance to work with them again. And it was interesting because we were in a variety of locations throughout the English countryside. A lot of places I'd never visited before, so that was really, really cool to see that. And yeah, it's good working with those same people again and again, just because you sort of find your groove, right? And now I'll be heading back there. I think it's July 20th. I begin on a show called Ripper Revealed, like for Jack the Ripper. And I'm actually very, very excited about this one. I don't know if you've ever really followed the Jack the Ripper kind of things, but this is one where, no kidding, they basically taken all the theories around who Jack the Ripper might have been, and they feel like they figured it out. And so this will be one of the first films that they really kind of reveal who and why this person would have been Jack the Ripper. And I'm not going to give anything away, but there's also something strange no one's ever really thought about that would change everything about the Jack the Ripper idea.
Yeah, so Douglas, how do you prepare for the role? Like how much get into character?
Yeah, it really depends on the role. And this is actually one of my favorite parts to really think about, is becoming that person. A lot of people think that a lot of times it's really a matter of memorizing lines and all of these things from a character, but there's really a lot more important work than just memorizing lines, and that's really, again, becoming who that person is. And so, it's like this particular character in the Jack the Ripper film. I'm a reporter that's basically investigating all of these claims and the story of it. And, so I took the time to chat with a few people that I know that are reporters. I also have played a cop many times, so I again chatted with some of the cops that I know, and how would they approach this Jack the Ripper case, and look at evidence, and how would they respond, and so forth. And so there's definitely a lot of research into it, but it's fun research, right? It's very interesting to think about.
Yes, I mean, there's a lot of research, as you said, involved, being an actor, and you're also a director, and you've been in Lorne Oak, you bringing a skin for dying, is it, for the
for dancing, and that was the other one about Sanders. Yeah, we've done a lot of cool stuff over the years, for sure.
Yeah, so everything you've done, is transferable skills, right? As an actor, director, producer, like the list goes on. So everything helps, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, so is there one role or I should ask, that you really enjoy doing? Is it a director? Is it stuntman?
Yeah, that's a great question. Each of them has challenges and also rewards to go with it. I've had a lot of fun doing stunts over the years, but I've had a lot of fun doing the other jobs too. I think I really do love the acting, but when I can get involved in producing as well, it's also super satisfying. And then, of course, seeing a story that you've written or that you've created go all the way through production to be able to eventually see it on the big screen is quite fulfilling and rewarding. I'll be honest with you, the shows that I act in, I don't always want to watch them. I know some actors feel that way, but it's one of those things where, how do we say, sometimes you can be very critical of yourself. Sometimes it's fun to watch them. Sometimes they turn out excellent. You're very pleased with them. But other times it's, I've done the job, but I want to let it go then, right? Sometimes I want to let it go. It's kind of funny. I've got a friend that says that I'm on TV more than I watch it. So, I don't know.
No.
Everybody's got their thing, I guess. I love to watch movies. I prefer to watch movies, obviously, in the theater. But yeah, I don't spend a lot of time watching my own shows.
Yeah. So what about your sons? I mean, you do, coming out of a helicopter, like, my goodness, like, where did you get the training and how fit do you have to be?
Well, it's interesting. So I basically started martial arts when I was a young man, and I still do today. So that was kind of the foundation of everything, the stunts that I do. I'm also very much into motorcycles and cars. And I do other work like I do a lot of fireworks. In fact, we just put up a video on YouTube of them lighting me on fire in England. It's pretty fun. Yeah, so you can find it there. Just type in Douglas Vermeeren fire demos.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, stunts, they're really fun. There's a big adrenaline that goes with that. And yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. I started basically at the first stunt. Well, on film was around the age of 13. The first stunt that I did kind of in life, the first one that I remember, didn't really work out very well. I was trying to jump a bicycle through a young girl's hula hoop that I lived on the wire, but it bounced before I could.
My goodness, you have nerves of steel, but you also have to be really prepared, do your research, but also be fit. Like, you.
Yeah, and I do work out every day. In fact, even this morning I already worked out. I've got a couple friends that are stunt performers, and maybe they've said it better than I have. They said that, being a full-time stunt performer is almost like so you really need to have that power, right?
Yes, and also too, like, did you have a lot of fun? I read Hitman 101, how to be a hitman. How much fun did you have on that?
That was actually one of my favorite movies. I really did enjoy that. I won't lie. The thing that I also found refreshing about it was not just like being a hitman and doing violence and guns and all these kind of things, which was fun. It really was, I think, most fun because there was a humanistic nature about this hitman. You get into his brain, you kind of see how he thinks, the things that he likes about his job and what he dislikes about his job. And then also, there's quite a bit of humor in this. Really made it fun.
Yes, that's wonderful. So with everything you do, are there any highlights, Douglas? You won an award recently too.
I did.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, I did win an award so I guess to explain it, so in LA when they do the Academy Awards, as you can imagine, like not everybody can attend. And so they've got a variety of different award ceremonies and parties and other venues. And so I was at the Universal Studios Hilton, and there was about 3,000 people there, different celebrities and performers and producers and everything else. And during the Oscars, they would view that, but during the commercial breaks, they would hand out their own awards. And so I received the Best Actor Award for my work on a handful of different independent films that I had done this last year. And that was really, to me, quite refreshing because I think that there were other people that, I don't know, I think were maybe more talented than me, but I'm grateful that my peers recognized me for that. And
Yes.
It's quite an honor.
Well, congratulations, because I just think it's amazing. You also said in my intro, you're a world traveler. So how do you keep, knowing your lines to director to keeping fit? Like, how do you do it all? How do you balance?
Well, I think that the thing is you do bring your scripts and your lines with you wherever you go. And some of that traveling is obviously for movies, right? So I've been doing movies in a variety of locations around the world. But they also, one of my agents got me speaking on about movies. So I've gone all over the world speaking for Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, all these guys. And, we just recently got back from French Polynesia, Tahiti and Moorea, Fiji, and all these kind of things. And then I did another one where we were through all the Hawaiian Islands. We've done that a few times. And then we've been through all Europe doing that. And then, of course, like I said, the movies that we do on top of that. So I just got back not too long ago. Well, I guess This week I was in Vancouver, Canada. But before that, I was over in England. I was at the Cannes Film Festival in France. I'm basically wherever I need to be. I don't live in a time zone anymore. I just kind of go from place to place and sleep when I'm tired.
That's but you must speak other languages.
I do. Yeah.
Yes. So do you, you speak French?
Oh yeah. C'est comment? C'est facile. J'avais pendant 2 ans. But yeah, I speak fluent French. My German is something I'm working on right now. It's not bad. My Russian is also, я не знаю по-русски, so I speak a little bit of Russian. I lived in China for a year doing a TV show there. So I speak a little bit of Mandarin. And, I've got other bits and pieces of other languages as well. I know some Italian and, learning a little bit of Portuguese as well. So, yeah. Right? Lots to learn, right?
You never stop. You keep going. And it's, as I said at the beginning, it's so impressive what you do. And so, Stan, your idol is Charlie Chaplin. Is that correct?
I did a show not too long ago that it's a silent movie, but I'm a big fan of Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd, people from that era, especially when it comes to the stunt work that they did because they were pioneers, right? We didn't have a lot of the safety precautions that we do now. And so those guys were seriously risking their lives all the time. And they, thank goodness, didn't have any massive serious injuries. But, I mean, there was some serious stuff that happened, like Harold Lloyd broke his back one time and kept going, which was really interesting, right? Like, if you see it's like, that is astounding. But, yeah, they're, I think that they're heroes that we don't really recognize often enough.
Yes, because I look at silent movies and I may say, it's like Charlie, it's so incredibly filmed and acted. I mean, it's like, you're accomplished actor, award-winning actor, I should say. But I understand it was in elementary school that you had the passion, they caught the acting bug.
Well, it's an interesting story because the reality is the first show that I ever appeared on television, I was a studio audience member for a kids program in Canada, in Calgary, in my city called Buckshot. And they brought the kids on and they were singing songs and had puppets and they had cartoons and all these things. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, but I think the biggest reason why, and this sounds really funny, is after the show, they brought in McDonald's for all the kids. So that's kind of what I was excited about. And then my first time on a movie set, I was also quite young. I think I was about 7. And I did a show in Canada for CBC. I played a newspaper boy in a show called Mildred McFall. And honestly, I didn't know we were making a TV show. I didn't know what was really happening. All I remember is they had free donuts at the catering table, like at craft services. And at the end of the day, they brought me to this trailer with this lady, and they gave me $50. And I was like, wow. So for 7 years, I got $50 cash. I thought I'd be rich forever, and that was my life, right? My life was set. But it wasn't really until, I'd say probably that I started getting into middle school that I really understood how films were made. I won't lie, I think this is kind of funny too. When I was a kid, I honestly thought that Star Wars was a real thing that literally happened in the galaxy somewhere else, and that they were real robots and real spaceships, and we just happened to catch some of it on film. And I thought it was real. And so it wasn't really, again, until middle school that I realized that there was a process for making these things. And then, no kidding, during middle school and high school, I used to skip school to go be on movie sets because I obviously found my school.
Yes. Douglas, can you share any tips for those who are wanting to go into what you're doing, like acting, directing?
Well, you may hear this again and again, and I think sometimes it's repeated so often that people kind of dismiss it. But the reality is if you don't love it, don't do it. And it's a very competitive industry, so you need to follow your passion. You absolutely need to love films, and you need to become immersed in film. So one thing that really changed everything for me as an actor, as a producer, as everything, is I took a class in college called film analysis. And film analysis, and I mean, there's others like it. I mean, film theory and some of these other, critical film things. But anyways, film analysis, the one that I took in a semester, they had us watch over 100 movies from every era and every genre. And so I really got a chance to learn film and fall in love with it. And I think if somebody wants to become an actor, it's like any career, you really need to study it. You need to know the history and also what is out there so you can be part of the conversation. If you don't know what movies are, like the history of movies, how can you participate in current? And the thing that was interesting is when I was doing that class, I literally had to watch, on average, three or four movies a day just to keep up with the course curriculum. And that was on my own time. So again, if you don't love movies, it's very hard to watch 4 movies a day. And by the way, what I would do is I would literally sit in the front row of the movie theater so I could have my notebook with me and have the light from the screen allow me to take notes, right? And I still have all those books. Now, here's the funny thing is I don't always now get in 3 or 4 movies a day, but I did yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm still watching that many movies just to stay with my craft. And now I watch them differently even again. Like every experience, we learn something. So there's times that I'm watching to see how certain actors are doing certain things. How would they portray that? What did I like? What didn't I like? I'm looking to see how the director's doing certain things, how the cinematographer's framing shots, how a set deck person is making something look more exciting. And, just the different elements of film. There's so many things to learn from. And so I think that that's a really important bit of advice. If you want to become an actor, you've got to become almost obsessed with film, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think too many people now are spending needless time on social media and things. And yes, there's definitely YouTube videos you can learn about movies, but nothing replaces watching a movie in the theater. That's the way they're meant to be seen. Go see them that way.
Yes, when you don't like watching yourself though, right? Like you're saying, because it's, no, I mean, and Douglas, you have a lot going on, but can you share what is next for you?
Wow. Oh, so we've got a lot. In fact, it's really funny. Even after this call, I've got a meeting with the producer that they're bringing me out. I can't say too much about some of these, but I can give you some hints. So there's 2 movies this year that are Westerns that I'm doing, that I'm playing the bad guy in both. So I don't always do the hero. I get to play the bad guy too. I've got another scary movie, and actually I'm getting to play a creature. They're putting me in the full makeup, and that'll be really exciting. I can kind of give some details on that. It's kind of a mummy movie, but definitely not a remake or anything in the vein of what Brendan Fraser or Tom Cruise tried to do. It's a different kind of mummy movie called Amuntak. And I'm actually very excited about that. And like I said, I get to be the creature. So that'll be kind of fun. I've got a cop show coming up. It's really kind of neat. So back to playing cops, I do a lot of police officers. So that's kind of neat. And so I'll be a detective again. And that's very Dirty Harry style kind of cop that in this modern day and age, he's very politically incorrect and a little bit on the outside. And he how do we say, sometimes, this politically correct kind of society we live in ignores common sense sometimes. And so this guy's a shooter, total common sense, but is often not liked because of it. Because he doesn't do the bureaucracy or going through proper channels to sometimes solve problems. And so that can lead to a lot of challenges for a police officer. Especially in this day and age where kids are like, not even wanting to roll down their window and show their ID, and they're videotaping a cop that's pulling them over for a speeding ticket. They feel like they can justify that by crying their rights, but they're breaking the law. So it'll be interesting how this is played, right? And I don't know, I'll probably get lots of negative feedback for saying that I'm kind of on the police officer side for the most part. Obviously, there are challenges that happen, but there's 2 sides to every story, and I don't think we tell the cop often enough. And the reality is what do they say? Where there's smoke, there's often fire. So a lot of these people that are complaining, the cops are upset with me. Well, maybe you've broken the law, or maybe you've given probable cause. Like, cops have a lot of busy stuff to do. They're not going around to look at picking on them. Yes. So, anyways, I'm gonna get tons of nasty emails about that. But I do agree that there are certain circumstances where the cops haven't followed procedure and it hasn't ended correctly. So just so you know, I like, even with things like the Black Lives Matter, I really believe that sometimes there are still prejudice that exists that those in power are using. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I justify police brutality from police side. Anyways, I probably said too much. I'll get myself in.
No, I love it. And Douglas, I also read James Bond.
Right.
Have you, I mean, it's exciting. So can you tell us a little bit even? That would be
I'm
wonderful.
not allowed to say too much about that, but I will say that I was down at Pinewood Studios. I'll just say that. And I think that it's a great series. I think that they really kind of. I've been a Bond fan for a long time, and so I was just talking with another friend of mine in the UK this morning, and both of us did have a hard time with the last James Bond. We don't feel like this kind of a character. And they really need to return to James Bond's roots. By being blunt, I think they're getting their asses handed to them by Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Tom Cruise is taking stunts that the Bond guys originated, and he's done it better. And so, if it was up to me, I would, if they ever cast me, I'd be doing my own stunts, and I'd be pushing them. And like even the press conference, they had Daniel Craig for the beginning with Casino Royale. They brought him in on a boat with a life jacket on, and everybody's like, "That's not Bond." I'll tell you what I'll do. You fly me in on a helicopter, I'll rappel in, and I'll land. I'll hit the ground and go, "Who has the first question?" And just sit down, right? Or come in on fire on a motorbike, ditch the bike, sit down and say, "Sorry, I'm late, everyone," and just sit down, right? Like that's the way Bond needs to arrive at a press conference. And so we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would have to have you come back.
I need that excitement. But I will maybe kind of say this gently. I got to be careful again, but like obviously I'd love to do that character, but if I don't ever get a chance to do something like that, we've got something that will.
You will. You will. You will, Douglas.
In a similar vein.
You will. I know it. You will. No. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, just that I'm loving what I do, and I think that the key is that if we can make movies that are entertaining, that can take people out of the challenges and pain that they have, that we can give other groups that are diverse the opportunity to also tell their stories. I think we really need to explore that, because this is what we are, is we're a society of storytellers. That's where we find our value. It's in our identity and our culture. It's in our stories. And so I think it's just really important that we encourage everybody who has a story to get out there and tell it.
That's great. Well said. Douglas, is people want to check you out, like, follow you, or, where can they go?
Probably the easiest is just douglasvermeeren.com. I'm on every social as well. Same thing. Just type in my name into Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. You'll find it.
Yeah. I want to thank you very much for being a guest on the show, and I'd love for you to come back.
Happy to do it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay.
Appreciate you having me.